Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really exciting workout for you that's meant to keep you charged throughout the day. And I call it the no off switch workout. It's powered by the Puma hybrid Ozone and is meant to keep you on the move. So let's go.
First up is warm up. Our first warm up is going to be inchworm. Standing straight, walk into a high plank position, hold that plank for a few seconds and gradually walk back and straight up. A few things to note, doing this exercise is keeping your abs and your core absolutely braced when you're doing it. Walk in and out as slowly as possible and keep your core engaged all the time. We'll do this for 1 minute. Next up is a static plank. For this one, walk into a high plank and stay here for 1 minute. A few things to note here is to take the C curve of your back out, keeping your core engaged, keeping your legs engaged, and maintaining your shoulders and hands in the same line. Whenever you feel like you're getting tired, you can adjust your hands a little bit and get back into the position. We'll hold this for 1 minute. Let's start with our main workout. The first exercise is squats with side kick. So we go down into a squat and we kick up. That means we lift our leg up as high as possible. Now, a few things to notice when you're getting into a squat. Pretend like you're sitting on a chair and you will never go wrong with your form. Your knees should never come over your toes, and with your leg lifts, initially when you start doing it, you might not achieve this 90-degree angle that I can do easily, but that's completely okay. Lift as high as you can and keep doing it for 1 minute. Our next workout is going to be resting and static. So we get into a boat pose and we will hold it for a minute. Now I know this is really hard to hold for a minute. You can take a break in between and get back into a minute. Few things to note here: when you get into the boat pose, make sure that your back is straight. One trick I use to keep my back straight is whenever I feel like I'm slouching and I'm kind of getting out of alignment, I roll my shoulders back, and that way I can get my back to be absolutely straight. Keep your core engaged. Keep breathing deep and you will really feel the burn in your core. Our next exercise is super energetic football runs with burpees. So I do generally 5 to 6 runs, and then I get into a burpee with a full push-up. Now this is a very high intensity and a very quick fat burning workout, as I call it. So a few things to notice here. If you think you cannot get into a full push-up, it's okay to go into a plank, but make sure that your burpee is perfect, you're landing softly, and you are as quick as you can in your football runs. After that, we get into squat hold for 1 minute. Now notice that I'm not going into a very deep squat. I am making a comfortable angle, which is between 90 to 110 degree. This is perfect. A few things to note here. Knees never come over your toes, your lower back has to be straight, and your glutes and abs have to be engaged. And don't forget to breathe deeply when you're doing it. Next up is full sit-up with side punches. I like this combination of exercise because it engages most of your front abdominal muscles, including obliques. For this one, brace your core really tight as you come up, and then use the obliques when you're using the punches. Make sure your back is absolutely straight during all the movements, and make sure that you're going down slower than you're coming up. And now we'll take a breather and get into a elbow plank. Now, as we did a plank before, the same things apply here. Take the C curve from your back out. Keep your core engaged, keep your legs engaged. If you're feeling tired on your shoulders or your arms, that means something is not right. Keep breathing deep. Notice my upper back has a arch. It's like a hollow back position. I generally prefer this one, but you can keep it flat, and both of them are okay. Remember, the hips don't need to go too high or too low. They have to be neutral and in line with your shoulders. Next up is my favorite workout, which is skipping. There are no rules to it, as the jump rope or skip, however you want to do, you can do it. Whatever is comfortable for you works well. Just remember to time it. We go 1 minute with this, and let's do it. Our next exercise is side planks on elbows. Again, keep your hand firmly on the ground and take the full support of your elbow. I like to keep my hand on my hip like so. It's completely up to you. You can keep it up in the sky as well. That just adds another challenge. You have to remember a few things. One is to deep breathe as you do this. Secondly, make sure that you're engaging your oblique muscles completely while you hold the plank. We'll hold it for 30 seconds in one direction and then we switch sides. One thing that really helps me is when I try to push my chest up to the sky, I notice that my form never goes wrong. So try that. Next exercise is lunge with front leg lift. So from a standing position, I get into a front lunge, and from the same lunge, I lift up my leg as high as I can and I drop it. A few things to notice here. Your knees never come over your toes, and when you lift that leg and land it back, make sure that you're landing softly and you don't jerk it, and keep your knees safe. The next exercise is Superman holds, which are for your lower back. Again, few things to notice here is that your lower back should be engaged at all times. Make sure that you're breathing deeply as you're doing this, because that's going to help you hold the position longer. Arms up, legs up. If this is too difficult for you, you can do only arms or only legs up. Whatever variation works for you and challenges you, suit yourself like that. Next up is a compound movement where you go from a plank to a pike or a down dog and touch your alternate toes. Now, a few things to notice here is you have to keep your core engaged at all times while you're doing this, and during the toe touches, make sure that your obliques are engaged too. I know you're really getting tired, but trust me, it's gonna be worth it. The next exercise is side kick throughs. This is one of my favorite animal flow movements, and in this one you start in a bear crawl position, which is on all fours with your knees bent, and from here we're gonna twist, supporting one arm and one leg, and kick through. During this exercise, again, remember to keep your core completely braced, and the closer your knees get to the ground, the harder it gets, so you can change and make variations as you please. The next isometric exercise is bridge holds. Remember, when you're doing bridge holds, to keep your glutes engaged, to keep your abs engaged. Breathe deeply into it. Another thing to notice, another thing to take note here is that if your chest and your knees are in one straight line, that means you got your bridge right. Next up is bear crawls. We will be doing side to side crawls here. Come on all fours with your knees as close to the ground as possible and lifting one hand and one leg at a time. We go from one side to the other. Remember to keep your core engaged at all times, and the closer the knees are to the ground and the slower you are, the harder it is. Was the end of our workout, and now we get into the cool down. The first hold that we'll do is the cobra hold. In this hold, notice that I'm keeping my elbows slightly bent and I'm not coming all the way up. If you can maintain this position for a minute, it's good. If you can do it for 30 seconds, you can take a break and then do it for another 30, and that works completely well too. Now we get into child's pose. In this pose, try to relax your back. Let your lower back dig in. Surrender yourself to gravity and remember to take really deep breaths. Next is the runner stretch. We'll do 1 minute each side. I want you to get into a deep lunge, and from here I will use my hand and supporting my body with one arm. I will use the other arm and the other hand to push my knees out and open that hip. Remember to breathe in deeply, and when you're pushing your knees out, be gentle. Remember to be gentle on yourself and don't do any harsh, jerky movements.
I hope you're feeling charged up after this work.
Show me your no off switch workout by using the hashtag no off
Don't
switch.
forget to check out Puma Hybrid Ozone and Sport, that's always on Spirit. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe this video, and I will share all the products that I'm wearing in the description box below. See you next time.